All destroyed. As if nobody lifted a finger against the Nilfgaardians.
King surely ordered all his armies to return to Aldersburg. Took cover behind its walls.
I do not wish to dismay, but after what we saw at Rossburg...
Enough doomsaying, Gascon.
Coming across a small brook, Meve ordered her soldiers to replenish their water supplies. When they returned, it was with empty water skins and troubled expressions.
Milady, the water tastes of blood. Not like black pudding, mind, but rancid, filthy.
Meve had no choice but to march on. She gulped dryly and wondered how to interpret this strange event. An omen, perhaps? A warning from the gods? She soon learned the truth. Following the brook upstream, the Lyrians arrived at a small pool. Bobbing on its surface were dozens of corpses. A young woman caught Meve's gaze, her long hair spread delicately atop the water, wide-open eyes reflecting the sky, a fine nose peppered with freckles, and a gaping wound slashed across her throat.
We shall stop here,
The Queen said calmly.
and give these souls a proper burial. Reynard, send scouts. Tell them they are not to return until they ascertain what has happened here.
When the scouts returned a while later, they brought with them a barefooted peasant they'd found hiding in the woods. They claimed he hailed from Horton, a nearby village, the village whose inhabitants had been murdered.
Them black-clad wretches stormed the village, milady. The devil free gave at the fore. Rounded us right up, took us down to the lake. Whole village, mind. Then chop, chop, and splosh, splosh. 'Twas I alone gave him the slip.
Meve listened to the man's tale, then placed him in the care of her medics and ordered the Lyrians to break camp. She rode at the head of their column, Reynard at her side, her knuckles gripped white on the reins.
Do we know where this Frigef is stationed?
Our riders report he's pitched camp to the east.
Then let's pay him a call.
They killed all, like Rosberg. My lady, please, make them pay.
Mom, it's good you're here. We ought to speak.
Yes? Concerning what?
I've spent time with your troops, dressing their wounds, treating them. They respect you greatly, would follow you into any fire, any flood.
Happy to hear it. They're good folk, one and all.
Yes, precisely. In fact, too good to die in a senseless war.
Not certain I understand.
The Imperial army's enormous. Just how enormous we know, both. Had you all the Norse kings at your side, victory would still be unsure. Yet you fight alone. Know well you cannot rely on them.
You forget yourself, madam.
Forgive an old woman, Mom. At my age, memory can indeed be fleeting. For instance, the memory that all rulers are the same. I thank you for reminding me.
Isbel, I may yet surprise you.
You're proud, persistent, and sure of yourself. Just as I was at your age. It may work in your favor. Only time can tell. Meanwhile, how might I help?
You're no village witch, no healer. That much is clear. But nor do you look like our northern sorceresses.
I use no glamour, true. I've come to feel a body must age, and honestly so, as nature intended, as is the order of things.
You sound much like a druid drivelling on about balance, harmony, the good that is rot.
Rather poor, their reputation, druids. Yet they're in the right in this regard, I believe. Defy nature's laws, and nothing good can come of it.
Is that also why you wear no shoes?
Ha! No. I simply like to feel the grass between my toes, the sand, the mud. You must try it sometime.
I shall think on it. Thank you, Isbel. Duty calls. I must go.
Of course. Should you need me, I'll be here.
Must be an important lesson in this. But what?
Again and again and again.
Hundred and 102, 103.
Can't take it anymore. Wise choice.
Army's a waste of time for one like me. Left, right, left, right.
Order! Got any petals? Hungry like a wolf, I am. Destillat Seifel!
I'll fight to my last breath.
Elherzer!
Coin never stinks, no matter how rank the pouch.
Your life is mine now.
As ordered.
I'd hoped we could solve this some other way.
Eddard Fane!
Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth?
My prescription, a bit of bloodletting.
We must trust each other.
God's blast it! My breast chafes.
I smell a leak.
A highly curious case.
Wait, you're serious?
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh.
In retreat!
I've hit the white of an eye from half a league away.
Egreto dum anime est, te est.
You mad? Don't shake that!
Give me a target. Arbalist at your command. Armor won't say.
One boat's all I need. Give me a target.
Our ballista, your command. Armor won't serve. Our ballista, your command. Armor won't serve.
One boat's all I need.
Give me a target. Our ballista, your command. Armor won't save.
One boat's all I need.
Our ballista, your command. Armor won't save.
One boat's all I need.
Give me a target. Our ballista, your command. Armor won't serve.
Thing about slings, they hide well. Hey? Ever have a stone knock out one of your teeth?
Took but one damned week, and the army was shattered to bits and pieces. Blacklads were supposed to grind their teeth against our walls. Bloody empty promise by our leaders. Commander, onward to Abbey. Bloody idiots.
There a place for me in your ranks, Your Majesty? I'd so like to serve you. I do so with loyalty deserving of my own king.
A taxidermied unicorn. Strange. What are your orders, Your Grace? Shall we take it?
I've no notion what one could possibly do with such a thing. We ride on.
Meave's Lyrians were traversing a wood when they heard the loud, drawn-out blast of a horn.
One of our scouts?
The Queen asked, clearly perplexed. She turned in her saddle to face Reynard, who shook his head.
Strange. Gascon, appoint a few of your strays. Ones who know how to blend in. Have them sniff out who blows that horn. And why.
The scouts returned a short while later with their report. Soldiers had pitched camp in a nearby meadow. They wore Edirnian uniforms, cut by sashes bearing a golden sun. They addressed their leader as Fulberson.
Know the name?
Rayla said.
Fulberson went over to the enemy first day of the war, took his whole division with him. Your Grace, a chance like this won't come again. Let's teach the traitors a lesson.
We must send a strong signal. One all the North will hear. From the Yaruga to the Dragon Mountains.
Announced the Queen.
Whoever collaborates with the invader shall pay with his head. Prepare to attack.
Rayla nodded, clearly pleased. The Lyrians surrounded the meadow marked by their scouts. Moments later, a flaming arrow pierced the sky, giving the signal to attack.
Is that?
I'll fight to my last breath.
What do you want of me?
So much anger and suffering. For what?
101, 102, 103.
Left, right, left, right.
Quick and painful this'll be.
Hundred and 52, 154.
This man has suffered much.
Again, again, and again.
Scrubbing duty again? Oh, gods.
Can't take it anymore.
We'll catch 'em all!
Enough, Fian!
My scars? No, they don't hurt.
Mercy, your grace. We surrender.
The traitors, perhaps used to fighting unsuspecting foes, stood no chance against the determined Lyrian attack. At its conclusion, Meve personally knocked Fulberson off his mount, then tore off his visor. The face she saw evoked more sympathy than hatred. Fulberson was an old, sickly man, his skin pale and blemished. With great difficulty, he pulled himself up on his knees, then extended a shaky hand in pleading.
Your grace, have mercy. The Nilfgaardians forced me to treason. They threatened torture.
Meve felt her soldiers' eyes on her. They awaited her decision. How would she treat this traitor? Would she really...
I hereby dissolve your division, Falberson. And you, surrender your sword and be on your way.
The traitor threw himself at the Queen's feet.
You've shown mercy befitting a truly great ruler, your grace. 1,000 thanks. To the west of here lie my lands. Visit me. I shall throw a sumptuous feast in your honor and provide a generous donation to your fight against our common foe.
Meve ordered Fulberson to stand. Her Lyrians reluctantly stepped out of the departing traitor's way. When he passed Black Rayla, she spat at his feet. Meve and her Lyrians arrived at Fulberson's lands, home of the traitor she had let live. He greeted the Queen with full honors. In ceremonial garb, a platter of bread and salt held aloft.
Your grace, 'tis an honor to welcome you to my humble abode. Please, come inside. A fattened piglet already turns on the spit. Soon I shall fetch my best wines from the cellar.
Meve, having lived on nothing but salt pork and gruel for weeks, was tempted to accept the offer. Black Rayla, however, was strongly against it.
Ma'am, forgive my insolence, but to eat from a traitor's table is foolish. Don't do it.
Meve ignored Rayla's warning, and for her part, Rayla refused to partake of the feast. The Queen attended in the company of only her closest advisors. The table groaned under all the refined delicacies laid out upon it, and rivers of wine were served. Fulberson delivered a flattering toast in Meve's honor.
You could search all the world and not find such a ruler. One so brave, so merciful, and so naive.
With these last words, heavily armed Nilfgaardian soldiers poured out of the adjoining rooms. Meve leapt away from the table, barely dodging the bolts sent flying towards her. She drew her sword.
Demavent hasn't a clue. Not so mighty now, are you, me?
You'll pay for this!
Falverson, slayer of the great Meve. Sounds rather good, doesn't it?
Meve, catch! I've no intention of dying today.
You fight in vain. This is where you die.
And just when you thought things were about to get dull.
Her Majesty knows what she's doing.
Quick and painful this'll be.
Discipline shall bring us victory!
Nothing personal, I assure you.
Company! Forward march!
Coin never stinks, no matter how rank the pouch.
We must trust each other.
Wait, you're serious?
Her Majesty is exceptional.
And just when you thought things were about to get dull.
We will never bow to the invader!
God, have mercy! They forced me!
Meve fought her way out of the trap, and Fulberson, a traitor twice over, finally died as he deserved, skewered on a sword in a puddle of blood.
Reynard.
Yes, Your Grace.
Should I appear ready to forgive again? To let treason go unpunished?
The Queen said, wiping her blade on a lace-fringed tablecloth.
Kindly remind me of Falberson's feast.
Meve went on her way as soon as she could, taking with her a hefty load of the oath-breaking lord's belongings and some valuable experience.
Milka, Bezrad, Krista, Volky, souls snuffed out to the very last. Could have run for help, I know. But I was afeard. Afeard the Blackclads would catch wind of me, hear me. What now? Whatever will I do? Alone. Left all alone. Milady, buried our valuables for the Blackclads came. In the wood, near a big boulder. Got a bit of charcoal? I can sketch the way for you. What now? Whatever will I do? Alone.
The Lyrians had no trouble finding Vrigev's camp. It was the size of a sprawling town. Neve stopped her caravan and called for a council. The first to speak was Reynard.
Seems our scouts were both right and wrong, Your Grace. They did pinpoint General Thregev, the Butcher of Horton. Unfortunately, they underestimated his detachment. It is much larger and better armed than our own.
That changes nothing.
Neve said, forestalling all protest.
If I leave him unpunished, without so much as an attempt, I shall never be able to face my reflection again. We must attack.
Reynard bowed and passed the order to the Lyrians. Later that same day, Neve and Vrigev's forces stood face to face on the field of battle.
Come out, Thregev! It's time you pay for your crimes!
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
I smell a leak.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
You deserve to die! There! Frigga! I see him! We've got to catch him!
Wise choice.
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh.
Order!
The horses.
Left, right, left, right.
Your life is mine now. As ordered.
The chase is on!
Again and again and again.
Give me a target.
Draw and cast down!
Her Majesty is exceptional.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Our ballista, your command.
You mad? Don't shake that!
Armor won't save.
Got him! The rest should surrender afore long.
The Lyrians won the day, despite their foe's distinct advantage. Historians later ascribed Maeve's victory to her light troops' superior maneuverability in the difficult terrain compared to the plate-clad Nilfgaardians. But if you ask me, that wasn't it at all. A storm of fury had been quietly gathering in the Lyrians' hearts, a squall of rage stoked by the Nilfgaardians' unparalleled cruelty towards the conquered. And no one embodied this barbarism more perfectly than General Frigga. Maeve's men were ready to sacrifice anything to see him punished. They dragged the defeated general before Maeve. The Queen wished to learn why he'd ordered the execution of an entire village. How the Nilfgaardians could possibly justify such a crime.
2 weeks prior, I'd sent a detachment to Horton to procure feed. Captain Gaynor commanded it. While he was verifying their grain stores, they barricaded him in the barn and put it to flame.
The Queen listened to the general's story, her face a mask, betraying nothing.
Murdered. One man was murdered.
Frigga raised his eyes to Maeve's. The Queen was surprised to see them wet with tears.
Yes, my lady. My son.
The general's simple words bore pain, grief, and a thirst for revenge that would never be slaked. The Queen had to decide what to do with Frigga. No doubt the general had earned punishment, the harshest possible at that. Yet, such a weighty personage could fetch a hefty ransom, and Maeve's army desperately needed the gold.
My father taught me to respect the generals of my enemies. That even in captivity, their arms should not be taken from them. Their guards should greet them in salute.
The Queen said.
But you, Frigga, you are no general. Merely a cutthroat dressed as one. You shall die like the good folk of Horton. Quickly. Summarily.
Frigga received the Queen's decision with sang-froid. He neither struggled nor begged for mercy. He simply laid his head on the trunk. A short moment later, it rolled onto the ground to the Lyrians' deafening applause.